Rosie O'Donnell is a good example of that, Carl. I started listening to it because I knew you were going to talk about Rosie O'Donnell, and God, that is hard to listen to.
Yes, perfect segue, because this is an example of a show you're just like, who would listen to this? Rosie O'Donnell has a new show called Onward with Rosie O'Donnell. The description is legendary entertainer. Oh, by the way, I want to point this out. This description was written by Rosie, but in third person, and I can prove it. Okay. Legendary entertainer Rosie O'Donnell shares her take on fame, family, and fun from her vantage point at 61. Onward, folks. We have no other choice. During her weekly show, Rosie will speak with friends, celebrities, newsmakers, artists, poets, and TikTokers.
Rosie is a loser.
So
I sure didn't hear much fun in there, but
No. Well, TikTokers?
a couple things in there that are funny. I like that she calls herself a legendary entertainer. I know that because it says, Onward, folks, we have no other choice. So is the person writing this also 61 years old? Is that what I think it's just Rosie.
that's a tell.
Yeah, that's a tell right there. All right, so the latest episode just dropped today is with Jennifer Lewis.
Oh,
Jennifer Lewis was a backup singer for Bette Midler, went on to star in movies and TV shows.
Carl,
Who she is. You know if you saw her.
Were you not fascinated to find out that Rosie O'Donnell, we had Stoney on, he's been to 138 Bruce Springsteen concerts. I've heard of other people say, oh yeah, I've seen the Stones 312 times or whatever. It sounds like Rosie O'Donnell has attended Bette Midler like 300 times.
Yes.
And I never dreamed somebody would go see Bette Midler that many. I mean, obviously there are, but that just really threw me.
How many times have you seen Bette Midler, Drew?
I've never seen Bette Midler.
Yeah, right.
I was going to put the over-under at 0.5, so okay, that's what I thought.
No, not going to happen. Although Wind Beneath My Wings would be a great encore. Or Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company B. I don't know. Okay. That's a tough one.
You're way ahead of all of us.
This just turned.
Drew's going to go see her now.
Right?
Oh,
All
Jesus.
right. So this episode starts off, like I said, this just dropped today. It starts off with a lot of fun, as you'd expect from Rosie O'Donnell, my track number one.
I think that automatic weapons, assault rifles, weapons of war, sorry, civilians cannot have them. And that's the point where we're at, you know. I remember talking to Rory Kennedy last week and her telling me that the top scientists in the world say we could have 6, maybe 10 years before it's not fixable, what we've done to the climate, and we're in an emergency and not fixable, right?
So depressing.
Oh, who's it? Rory Kennedy? Is she the planet's doctor?
You party pooper, buzzkill.
I think you've got 6 to 10 years left, planet.
Guys, you would think that I edited that together to make it sound like the most depressing intro ever, but no.
I listened to it.
Not just the content, but the delivery is such a bummer.
And she's so sure of herself, too. It's like, these assault weapons, they're weapons of war, and you can't have them. And if you're going to say they're the Second Amendment, then we have to change the amendment. And, I mean, she acts as if people who want to shoot up a school are going to say, assault weapons aren't available. I guess I can't shoot up a school. I mean, she makes it sound like it's so simple.
Well, and I don't want to get into a gun debate, obviously. That's not the point here. But the shooter in Nashville had like 4 or 5 handguns. So I think he or she would have figured it out.
Yeah, I just don't think school shooters think of it the same way as Rosie O'Donnell thinks of it. I don't think it's quite that simple. I'm not saying I completely disagree with everything she said, but pretty damn close.
What a party, though, huh? You're going from school shootings to banning weapons to climate change. Like, all right, what's next? So now we got to bring in our guest here, and let's try to transition this
To a complete halt, and nobody wants to listen. We have a great guest today. We really do. And we talk a little bit about mental health. We talk a little bit about Columbine, which, started me on my journey and medication of my mental health issues. And I am so incredibly grateful. But the guest is Jennifer Lewis.
Wait, she's grateful that 11 kids were murdered at Columbine?
Yeah, because it made her better.
What the fuck? It's really weird.
Wow.
Oh, whoa, bummer alert.
What the fuck?
So, guys, I have to say, on WATP, we don't talk about mental health nearly as much as I do with you guys. For some reason, every celebrity podcaster talks about mental health. It's always the richest people with the greatest lives.
I know.
We're so concerned about their fucking mental health for
It's
some reason.
abominable.
Because you know what? They don't have real things to worry about. Like, how am I going to pay for this?
But, isn't it really a grift? Isn't it a grift? Because it's a thing now and everybody loves talking about it. Everybody loves hearing about it and pretending that it's a real thing all the time.
I kind of feel like they think it makes them relatable, but I don't think it does.
Time out, guys. Rosie O'Donnell is an asshole.
Yeah.
She's a bad person. She had one of her adopted daughters ran away from home, back to live with her biological mom. Her ex-wife killed herself. Like, I'm just saying, there's some evidence to point to the fact that Rosie's not a pleasant person.
Plus, she ate all the cake.
She also, she
She came to my wedding. She ate like a pig. And seriously, the wedding cake was like missing in action.
I'm pretty sure.
Missing in action.
I'm pretty sure she returned an adopted child. No, this one doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. I think she did it a couple times. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I
When we
think
hear
it happened.
hot 20-somethings talk about mental health, I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself. But with Rosie O'Donnell, I'm like, okay, she might actually have some real mental problems.
Rosie is a very unattractive person.
Her guest certainly has quite a few.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
very happy when her talk show failed.
Her guest, Jennifer Lewis, has written a couple books. Her most recent book is called Walking in My Joy. And this is insane because they said that she goes, we're going to talk a little bit about mental health. It's all about mental health this episode. But we're going to start off with some fun. Let's have a little bit of fun
I'm
here.
not falling for it again.
Let's get some levity going here. My track number 3, an anecdote from 30 years ago. Apparently, Bette Midler was playing in Laguna, and Rosie was there, and that's when she met Jennifer.
Jennifer was performing with Bette, I believe, at that time. And she was there with Mark Shaman and me and a bunch of people, or I saw them right after they came back. And they were all singing the song that Jennifer made up when she was in Laguna, because she got there and she was the only black person that she saw in the whole entire town. So she made up this song that goes something like this. Hey, white folks, I'm sorry I could not get here sooner. I'm the only black girl in Laguna. Ooh! And then we would sing it over and over and over.
Sure, sounds like a #1 hit tune, all right.
Oh my God.
Couldn't she just said that they made up a great song and they laughed a lot and not sang the song
No,
for
she
us so
has
we
to-
know that
she
it was
ha-
terrible?
She has to sing it. I mean,
That's right. That's her brand.
White folks, I'm sorry didn't get here sooner. I'm the only black girl in Laguna. Like, what? It's not even funny. It's stupid.
No, it's weird. What did the white people as a group invite a black person to Laguna
They were just
and
dying
she
to
was
have a
late
white
for the
person. Yeah,
appointment? I
exactly.
mean,
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Good point.
I just assumed there was some race angle with the song at first, but I'm confused about it. I don't think it was as funny as Rosie articulated.
it's not.
All right, so now the conversation finally starts because there's another show where she has to introduce us. She's going to do an interview, and the interview starts. And it starts off with Jennifer Lewis is kissing Rosie's ass for her acting in the dramatic roles that she plays. And I did put a little clip on the end here from my favorite movie with Rosie O'Donnell, Riding the Bus with My Sister.
It's #4.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of all your accomplishments.
And black at you.
I mean, really, honey.
Black at you, baby. Black at you. I've seen you
Yes.
in your dramatic acting work. You're so good. I just sit here and go, there's my baby.
Thank you!
Black at ya.
We're black at you there, Drew. I guess Rosie's invited into the tribe or something.
Is she,
right?
Does she drop the N-word in this episode now that she's part of them? That'd be great if Rosie. Couldn't Rosie O'Donnell get away with dropping the N-word? Like if she just did an interview and...
Within the world she comes from.
I think she might.
If you listen to the first 5 minutes of the show, honestly, she could have come on and said, think of every issue and how the left wing would view it, and then just think of that little brief thought, and then that's what the next 5 minutes would be if I didn't just move forward.
Yeah, first
seriously,
off,
she is so left. I think the left would forgive her in a second.
And what could she be fired from? She's not really doing anything, is she?
Well, she's got a podcast now. She had a magazine.
Also-
You remember that magazine?
Her magazine called Rosie was a total disaster.
Also, she did drop the N-bomb. I don't think Trump's going to call her on it. He's pretty busy right now, so... You got that going.
Yeah, that's the thing. She could say it, and would anybody know? I don't know if anybody would even care.
All I know is that these two people, for females, they blew each other like I've never heard two females blow each other on a podcast more successfully. In fact, some people are saying they allegedly ejaculated semen.
Oh,
Just saying,
white people. Hey, white back at you,
It's
Drew.
just worse than most of
I'm going to
us.
start using white back at you.
some people are saying.
White back at
White
you.
back at you.
White back gotcha. Yeah, Drew, I didn't pull the clip because it's just so boring and mundane. But it starts off before the interview where Rosie goes, "This Jennifer Lewis is literally the most talented person I've ever met in my life." Like, Rosie, if you're going to do this show for, a couple more years, you might want to save some of those things.
Remember, you were listing off all the terrible things she did. Remember when she pretended she got wet over Tom Cruise?
Yeah, she pretended to be hetero for Tom Cruise.
Guys, Tom Cruise is a cutie patootie. You don't remember that?
That's right.
Her fantasy
could
was
she
Tom Cruise mowing her lawn with his shirt off.
Could she pick a worse example, by the way? That just proves she was a lesbian.
A man leading a cult.
Well, and back then I was a big Stern listener, and Howard was calling her out on all that bullshit,
yeah.
which was great because he saw right through it. He's like, "She's not attracted to Tom Cruise."
No one is.
No way.
That's when I was stunned, was when I read that Howard made up and apologized to Rosie O'Donnell. I just said, what just happened?
Yep.
I mean, it seemed like a big turning point on the Stern show to me.
He lost a lot of followers when that happened.
It was.
Yeah, it was a huge turning point for sure. So that's when Howie went Hollywood for sure. All right, so my next track, they're going to both talk about their severe depression, which is a good thing to talk about on an entertainment program.
How does this show get any worse?
It's insane, Mark. It gets so much worse.
It's really weird.
I want you to play track number 5. Listen closely. There's one thing in here that I call bullshit on. Tell me if you can pick up on it.
Now, when they told you the diagnosis, because when I got diagnosed with severe depression, it was right after Columbine, and I had this 2 little babies, and I was waking up every night thinking somebody was in my house with a gun, that kids were going to be killed in schools. I couldn't fathom how this was happening in my world, and it caused me such duress. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't stop crying. I could hardly
There
do
it
my
is.
show without
I found it.
squeezing all my muscles to try to stop myself from having feelings.
There's a lot of whoppers in that, but
I think it was the eat one.
it.
Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out.
Wait, didn't she say she was having nightmares and then she said she couldn't sleep?
She couldn't eat.
she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep, she couldn't do any of
There were a
it.
lot of there were multiple whoppers in there.
Yeah, she ate like a pig.
Well, the idea that she was taking care of the kids, I thought that might have been the lie too. I'm sure she had nannies.
But
You guys picked up on that so quickly. As soon as you started to eat, you're like, well, that's it. Yep.
So obvious, yeah.
But you also, she did say she was having nightmares, and then she said she couldn't sleep. And then additionally, I mean, this is really early on. I mean, if she was saying it back then, of people acting like somehow they were harmed by Columbine from, 8 states away. Mm-hmm. She acts like she can't go on. I mean, can you imagine how the people who lost their children felt?
Yeah.
If she's so hurt?
It's a bit irrational, I think you might say, Drew.
Just a little, yeah.
So she goes on to say that she got on medication, and Jennifer Lewis, the same thing. And they're bragging about how they have medication for anxiety and depression, and they take it every single day. And it must be working fantastic. This is a great advertisement for pharmaceuticals, as Jennifer Lewis is talking about Kanye here and just breaks down in the middle of the conversation.
Ooh, what?
Yeah.
You know, we got people down south with torches going, the Jews will not replace me. We don't need that bullshit. What you want to start with all those followers? A civil war?
Right.
The fuck is wrong with you? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
And I meant that because I was mad.
Yes.
But the undercurrent of that is the undercurrent of that is Kanye, come here.
Yes.
Come here, pumpkin. Come here. And, my name's Jennifer Lewis, and I understand what you're going through.
Totally. You're not alone.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, that was weird.
That was really
Oh,
awkward.
my God, that was awkward.
I don't take Prozac, and I don't break down like that, so I don't know. That's weird.
Yikes.
Up that dosage.
Yeah. So then, my track number 7, Jennifer says, after you just heard how unstable she is, and they were claiming that everything's great now, Jennifer says that she's ready to help Ye, and I don't know if she's going about it the right way, but let's find out.
And let me tell you a thing or two, or for that matter, show you a thing or two.
Right.
Here it is in black and white.
Yeah.
Here's that scared little girl.
Right.
Here's that baby. Here's that baby that was molested by the pastor of her church. Here's another baby that was abused and beaten and still have the scars to prove it. Yeah, so I'm not here to minimize your pain, but I'm not going to let you tell me that your pain is more important than everybody else's.
Exactly.
Grow the fuck up.
Right.
Wow, that message was all over the place, wasn't it?
Thank you, Mark. That took a crazy turn.
Well,
there.
can you
like,
please connect the dots for me?
I'm going to help you, and then shut the fuck up and walk it off. That's kind of the equivalent.
What they were saying was they go, Ye obviously is still suffering from some trauma from his childhood, his mom passing away. And I see him as this scared little boy who's lashing out. And she goes, I can help him because I was molested as a kid, and go fuck yourself. And we all have problems, Ye. Get over it.
That was really unstable.
Jeez.
I'm not sure her being molested as a child is going to help him get over something. That doesn't. I don't connect.
No, but it certainly brings the conversation back to her, because I was like, wait, what?
What's so strange about this,
Kanye.
and you guys didn't hear this, but she's breaking down crying over Kanye, then that bizarro thing we just heard. Well, about 10 minutes before that on the show, she was saying she's so happy she jumps out of bed. She can't wait to bring on the next day because life is so wonderful. And then she's falling apart 5 minutes later.
Drew, thank you. That was the crazy part about this, is you saw how bipolar she is.
Oh, yeah.
Just this one quick interview that's like 40 minutes long.
Wow.
My track number 8 is just a quick ISO that I thought you guys might enjoy to have on the board.
Ooh, girl, this is so deep.
All right. Track number 9, we're winding up here. We're gonna prove that both of these women are
No, we're not. We're not lighting up. Stop fooling me.
These women are such assholes. They're talking a lot about borderline personality disorder and these issues and they're like, people I know have this problem and that problem. I think it's them.
You know, look, when you got personalities like you and me, that personality is going to break through that medication sometime.
Yes.
So apparently, even with all the meds they're on, they're still raging cunts. Oh, I'm sorry, we're on YouTube. I meant raging C words.
Wow, that is pretty
And
wild.
in case you think I'm misinterpreting that, Jennifer doubles down in my track number 10. And remember, her latest book that she's promoting is called Walking in My Joy.
It ain't that much medication in the world
Right.
that's going to stop this personality from coming through sometimes.
Right. I totally hear you.
So basically, I'm telling you, you've been warned. Back the fuck up.
Right.
I'm alpha. And if you approach with caution, don't come in here.
I don't want to walk in any of that joy. That does not sound like fun joy.
Whew. I'd rather walk in the truth of the previous show.
Cement shoes on, I know.
Wow, that was
Yeah, she ran down a litany of all her mental sort of dysfunctions. She's bipolar. She's depressed. I mean, remember that, Karl? It was a long list.
Oh, yeah, there's anxiety. There's all these issues that they have. But you're right, Drew, because the way it started, I thought they were going to say, look, if there's ways to get help, I'm heavily medicated and it's working for me and you could do it too. And then immediately it's just like, and by the way, I want to murder everyone. Like, whoa, what's that?
And the medication, it sounds like, is basically her mold. That's her, is when she's medicated. But apparently, occasionally, her personality just bursts through the medicine. That's a weird way to describe it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope she'd always be herself, but I guess those are powerful meds, so whatever.
wow.
Well, listen, guys, this was just an excuse to play those Trump drops. I messaged Brandon. I'm like, I just want to hear Trump calling Rosie a pig. It's on.